welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into a fascinating story called Build a Mind So Strong It Scares People.
Yeah, it's quite a title.
It is. And think of this session as, well, your way to grasp the key ideas,
Yeah.
mental strength, discipline, personal transformation, all through one character's journey.
That character being Kian, he starts off as this really quiet, almost overlooked kid.
Exactly. Underestimated.
Yeah.
And our mission here is to pull out the insights from his journey, how he built this incredible inner strength.
A strength that wasn't obvious, right? Not physical power or status.
No, it was internal, deeply cultivated, and it eventually had this, well, profound effect on everyone around him.
And what hooks you straight away is that the book stresses this wasn't innate. He built it.
He worked at it.
Yeah, from this very quiet, almost unseen place, which, kind of challenges that idea that strength is just something you either have or you don't.
Right. It suggests it's more like a muscle you can develop.
Exactly.
So we first meet him, this boy with no voice, in a small mountain town. Very introspective kid.
Not like the other children, apparently. He gets labeled strange, too quiet.
The kind of kid you might just not notice. But the book starts showing us that even though he's quiet on the outside, there's a lot going on inside. A whole internal world developing.
It's a great point, isn't it? That quietness doesn't equal emptiness. It can be a space where real strength is forming.
We often equate being loud or talkative with being strong or capable.
Right, but Kian's story suggests the real work might be happening beneath the surface.
And you really feel his early anxiety, especially at school. That racing heart, trembling hands.
Words getting stuck in his throat. Yeah.
Many of us know that feeling. And there's this specific moment, this really pivotal moment of shame when he can't answer a question.
That vulnerability is key, I think. He's not presented as stoic from the start.
No, not at all.
You see the fear, the weakness, which makes his later transformation much more believable, more earned.
It shows that building strength isn't about not feeling fear.
Right. It's about finding ways to move through it. That shame becomes a catalyst, doesn't it? A signal he needs something different.
And then comes this really memorable interaction with his father, the lesson about the tree.
Oh, the tree analogy.
How wind, storms, pressure, they don't just break things, they can actually forge strength.
His father's words are powerful.
Right.
Every time the wind pushed against it, the tree pushed back. Its roots grew deeper, life tested it, and it became unbreakable.
It's such a clear, tangible image for resilience.
It really is. It reminds me of stress inoculation in psychology. You face smaller challenges, you adapt, you get stronger for the bigger ones.
The wind isn't just destructive, it's forcing adaptation.
Exactly. And that becomes Kian's core principle, really, actively pushing through discomfort.
And he takes it seriously. That very night, he decides. He makes the choice to become strong.
And writes that journal entry. Build a mind so strong it scares people.
Which is pretty bold for a kid who's afraid to speak up in class.
It signals a huge internal shift, doesn't it? From being passive to actively shaping his own mind.
Yeah. And that word scares. Maybe it's not about intimidating others.
Perhaps not. Maybe it's about the power of an unwavering mind, a focus that might seem, unsettling to people who don't have that kind of control.
So his first steps are very practical. Raising his hand, reading aloud, even practicing speaking in the mirror.
Small steps, gradual exposure.
Yeah, not trying to leap tall buildings in a single bound. And the book notes his voice was weak at first, but he kept at it.
Persistence. That consistent effort builds momentum. It's like facing a fear in small doses to desensitize yourself.
And his motivation is internal, right? This war inside his mind.
Yeah.
Not about pleasing teachers or anything.
Exactly. Intrinsic motivation. That's powerful.
And it becomes broader than just speaking. He starts reading books on the mind, confidence, strength.
And physical training, too.
It's clear this is a deep internal project he's undertaking.
A holistic approach, really, mind and body.
And as he does this, you see the perception of him start to shift. It's not pity anymore.
No, it becomes this sense of calm, quiet power.
True strength often doesn't need to shout, does it?
It really doesn't. It comes from self-assuredness, that inner control. And crucially, he stops caring so much about what others think.
That indifference to external judgment is a strength in itself.
Definitely. And that encounter with the bully, it sums it all up.
Yeah, the bully expects the old Kian, the timid one.
But gets this calm presence instead. And Kian's response.
I met the wind. Just 4 words.
So metaphorical, so powerful. It completely shuts the bully down. It's like his internal journey just became visible in that moment.
Okay, so chapter 2 digs deeper. Confronting discomfort is now his kind of standard operating procedure.
Yeah, he's leaning into it, and then we get the mirror test.
This daily ritual. Looking himself in the eye, asking, who are you?
And affirming who he wants to be. I am the one who refuses to break. I'm the one building a fortress inside.
It's such a direct way to shape self-perception.
Yeah.
It's building confidence, not just hoping for it.
Exactly. These aren't just empty words. Repeating them reinforces belief, strengthens resolve. It's active construction of the self.
And his work on speaking skills continues. Studying, practicing, recording his voice.
Identifying weaknesses and working on them. Methodical.
And interestingly, he starts using these skills to help other shy students. That shows real growth, doesn't it?
It really does. Moving beyond just self-help to helping others, that often happens when you build that inner surplus of confidence.
There's also this idea that facing your unwanted aspects is vital, not pretending they don't exist.
Yeah, acknowledging the whole self, imperfections and all. True strength includes knowing and managing your vulnerabilities, not denying them.
That integration is key to resilience.
Definitely.
And the encounter with the older students who taunt him, quiet freak. Wow, the difference.
Huge difference. Instead of shrinking away, he walks towards them, calmly.
And his response is just masterful. You think silence is weakness, but silence is control.
You think your loud voice makes you strong. It just means you're scared someone might listen to someone else. Boom.
It completely flips the script on them, pointing out their own potential insecurity.
And he does it calmly, without aggression. That demonstrates real self-mastery. He doesn't get sucked into their drama.
And his journal entry that night nails it. Real strength is not about muscles or words. It's about control.
The power to choose your response. The ability to stay calm when chaos surrounds you. That's such a mature understanding.
It really is. Focusing on that internal capacity, that conscious choice.
Which is a hallmark of emotional intelligence, right?
Absolutely. Then we see him really solidifying his routines. Avoiding distractions, gossip, drama, doubt.
Building that internal framework. Focusing on breath, habits, discipline.
Like constructing a mental fortress brick by brick.
Yeah, filtering out the noise. And people start noticing, not because he's loud, but because he's solid.
Teachers give him responsibility. Classmates ask for advice. Respect grows organically.
His actions and consistency create this aura of reliability, of wisdom. When he does speak,
people listen. His words have weight.
But the book adds that important caveat. This is still just the foundation.
Right. What really unnerves people, what scares them, isn't just the strength.
It's the commitment, That unwavering focus on becoming unstoppable. It's hard for most people to grasp that level of dedication.
Yeah, that single-mindedness can be unsettling if you haven't cultivated it yourself.
Okay, so chapter 3, Kian's transformation is deeper now. Not louder, but heavier.
Yeah, deeper is the word the book uses. His thoughts, his words, even his silence has more impact.
But this brings an unexpected consequence distance.
He starts to feel separate from his peers. Not because he's pushing them away, but his perspective has shifted.
Their pursuits fitting in, showing off, trends just don't resonate with him in the same way.
And you get the whispers, right? He thinks he's better than us. That typical reaction to someone who deviates.
But Kian seems to understand something crucial.
You must be willing to stand alone to become truly powerful.
That really hits home. Deep growth often requires stepping away from the crowd, focusing inward.
Prioritizing that inner work over constant social validation.
He's still kind, still helps others, but he doesn't need their approval anymore. His focus is just progress.
That internal compass is now his primary guide.
And his training intensifies. 4:30 a.m. wake-ups for writing, reading, running.
Wow. That's discipline.
And it's fueled internally, right? To be sharper, more focused, more alive, not for show.
It's about cultivating mental toughness, setting the tone for his day.
And those self-imposed rules.
No social media before 10 a.m., no complaining, write a page daily, do one hard thing each morning.
He sees them as promises to the unbreakable version of himself. It's like active self-sculpting.
Yeah, a framework for reinforcing his commitment, resisting distractions.
But the outside world mostly just sees the results, top grades, the leadership camp invite.
And they chalk it up to luck or connections.
Missing the immense effort, mental, emotional, physical that went into it. That hidden struggle.
It's easy to underestimate the work behind visible success, isn't it?
Absolutely. People prefer simpler explanations sometimes.
The leadership camp scene is very revealing. Chaos, egos clashing.
And Kian cuts through it. Quietly.
We are wasting energy fighting for attention. Let's use that energy to solve problems instead. So simple, so direct.
And it works. His calm focus shifts the whole dynamic. It highlights his emotional intelligence in that pressure cooker.
The team succeeds, ranks #1, and the instructor notes his presence.
Right. And Kian's insight on that, you don't get presence by being loud, you get it by being solid.
That inner stability, that quiet confidence, that's presence.
It commands respect without demanding it.
His journal entry, then. Alone is not empty. It is full of truth. I am not lonely. I am aligned.
Reframing solitude as a space for truth and alignment, not isolation.
If the price of strength is silence, I will pay it every day. That's commitment.
A conscious choice to prioritize that inner clarity, even if it means being different.
And he keeps building that strength in private, preparing for what's next. Because the real tests often happen away from the public eye.
Right, the strongest minds aren't necessarily built on stage.
Which brings us to chapter 4, and a very different kind of test, the collapse.
Yeah, after all this building, this fortification, life throws a curveball.
The phone call. His father's critical heart condition.
It hits hard. It tests the very foundations he's built, introducing this deep emotional distress.
Wholly different from the challenges he chose to face.
Exactly. This is raw, personal, beyond his control.
And you see the contrast at the hospital. His outward composure is there, mostly, but inside, turmoil.
Holding his father's hand, reading, keeping vigil, but his internal monologue is full of fear.
What if I lose him? What's the point of strength if it can't save the people you love? So raw.
It humanizes him completely. Strength isn't about being emotionless. It's about navigating those intense feelings without shattering.
He's forced to question everything. to redefine what strength means when facing love and potential loss.
And that moment outside the hospital under the stars, feeling powerless.
Yeah, that dark night of the soul, where everything he built feels like it might just crumble.
It's a necessary part of the process, though, isn't it? Confronting those deep fears, reevaluating core beliefs.
But then, that memory surfaces. The tree.
The wind makes the tree stronger.
It anchors him. He realizes this is the storm, the test.
And the key insight: strength isn't suppressing emotion. It's controlling the response to it.
That's a huge evolution in his understanding. It's not about immunity to pain, it's about endurance.
Right. Maintaining agency over thoughts and actions even when you're hurting badly.
Yeah.
That's emotional regulation, not suppression.
So he goes back inside, steadier, supporting his mom, helping nurses, researching, grounded.
Channeling his energy constructively, becoming a pillar of support even in his own grief.
His inner strength now serves others in crisis.
And his father recovers, gradually. Kian survives the storm.
Not untouched, but unbroken. Such a perfect description of resilience.
Acknowledges the pain, the scars, but affirms the core strength remains. Maybe even deepened by the experience.
But it's not over. Back at school, things have slipped. Grades, deadlines, friendships.
The ripple effects. Life doesn't just pause one area of difficulty.
He has to rebuild, essentially start over in some ways.
And his response: same, quiet determination, wakes earlier, tackles every subject, meets teachers, takes extra work.
No complaints, no excuses, just gets back to it.
And keeps his struggle private. True strength doesn't beg for sympathy. He takes responsibility.
Then, unexpectedly, he's invited to speak at this conference. Resilience and Leadership.
Like the universe noticed the journey, even if he wasn't broadcasting it. His experience now has weight, authenticity.
And his opening. Wow. I used to think fear was the enemy. I was wrong.
Fear is the mirror that shows you who you really are. And pain. Pain is the gate you pass through to meet your highest self.
You can just feel the lived experience behind that. He's earned those insights.
He speaks like a soldier of the mind, as the book says. It's not theory. It's hard-won wisdom.
The audience is captivated. And that girl who says he scares her.
His response is brilliant. That's not fear. That's respect for someone who has walked through fire and didn't burn.
Such a mature reframing. He understands the impact his resilience has.
Yeah, it's awe, not intimidation in a negative way.
And his journal entry that night adds a crucial layer. Strength shouldn't become arrogance.
Let it become light for others lost in the dark.
His focus shifts again, from personal strength to using it to help others, a sense of responsibility.
That's a profound evolution. Strength finds its purpose and service.
So Chapter 5, Kian's now a respected young man. His story is an example.
But he doesn't rest on his laurels, keeps up the routines. Life never stops testing you.
That understanding is key. It's an ongoing process.
And that visit back to his old school, seeing the boy on the bench?
He recognizes that feeling, that internal struggle, immediately. His empathy is sharp now.
His own past gives him that insight, that connection.
And he approaches gently, shares his own story, feeling alone, weak, the path he took.
Not lecturing, just sharing, and the advice is simple, practical.
You don't need to be like them. You just need to build something inside you, piece by piece, one strong thought at a time.
So empowering. It's internal, gradual, achievable.
And validates the boy's current state.
Yeah.
You already started. You're still here. That's step one.
Huge. Reframing struggle as the beginning, not the end. Offering hope.
That night's journal entry summarizes his philosophy beautifully. The mind is a kingdom. If you rule it, Nothing outside can rule you.
And redefining strength. It's peace in your own eyes, not fear in others.
And refining the goal. Not to scare people, but to become so steady, so free, that fear itself would step aside.
A much deeper, more resonant goal than the initial, maybe raw ambition. It's about inner freedom commanding respect.
Yeah, the conclusion is about that inner stillness, that quiet fire, a transformative presence.
The unseen crown. Felt, not seen. Quiet authority born from inner stability.
Which leads perfectly into Chapter 6, Legacy. How light began to find him.
Not fame, but influence. Positive impact on others.
He returns to his hometown, feeling called back. His focus shifts outward now.
From self-development to contribution. Giving back.
And his impact at the old school is subtle but profound. Especially on the quiet kids, the misunderstood ones.
His journey becomes a silent inspiration for them, proof that change is possible.
His approach to the Inner Fortitude program, like a gardener, patient, purposeful.
Nurturing growth, not forcing it, creating the right conditions.
It starts small, and he doesn't lecture. He asks questions.
What do you believe about yourself that isn't true? Provocative stuff.
Creating that safe space for reflection, for them to find their own answers.
That Socratic method empowers them, makes them challenge their own limiting beliefs.
And the program grows, word spreads, students feel safe, seen, strong.
And the tools he teaches, journaling, controlled silence, one brave thing a week, are the ones he used himself.
Practical, tested, effective, adds credibility.
You see the results. Kids overcoming panic attacks, excelling academically.
And they attribute it to their inner power, not him.
Which is exactly his goal, his response to the teacher. I teach them how to become the person they needed when they were lost.
So insightful. It's about helping them access what's already inside.
He's the guide, not the hero providing external solutions.
Always empowering them. That was you. You did that.
Yeah.
His legacy isn't about him. It's in them.
That selflessness defines it. Their growth is his reward.
And Hannah's question, why does he do it? His answer crystallizes everything.
To build minds strong enough to withstand a world that tries to break them. To protect their worth.
It's about fostering resilience against life's pressures.
A mission to help people protect their mental well-being, their sense of self.
And that feeling of peace he has, knowing legacy is how people live differently because you were here.
That's such a powerful, understated definition of impact. Tangible changes in others' lives.
So the outro paints this picture of his legacy, not headlines, but quiet transformations.
A movement spreading organically, person by person.
Yeah, through inner growth, not big displays.
The real legacy is in those moments. A student's first journal entry, a shy voice speaking up, choosing discipline over drama.
Small acts of inner strength rippling outwards.
And it's not Kian's way, right? It's just growing up strong, universal.
Exactly. Accessible principles of resilience, not a rigid doctrine.
Fostering something fundamental within everyone.
But brings us back to build a mind so strong it scares people, but with that evolved meaning.
Yeah, not about dominance, about protecting peace, creating clarity, being the calm center.
Resilience as a shield for inner well-being in a chaotic world.
The journey refines the goal into something much deeper.
And that final thought really resonates. Fire doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers and still lights the world.
It perfectly captures Kian's quiet strength and its profound, lasting impact. True influence doesn't always need volume.
Sometimes the quietest power creates the most significant change. A beautiful place to leave it for today.